Good evening. This is Wes S. and there's none of light, as usual. Oh, cricket. I've been drinking? Y'all been drinking again, ain't you? See, y'all are not so much to have a problem with the drinking, just nobody ever offers me anything. I just wobble all over the place, make all kinds of noise. Serious video. By way of introduction, I started this video the other day and ran out of memory, apparently. But I was watching, I'm going to give all the credits where credit's due. I was watching Canadian Prepper. I was watching his video, bugging out would be hell for most people. Okay, I mean, you don't need a shout out from me or anything, but that's the video I was watching. It's a good video. Check it out. But this guy commented, Jamie Hitt, Jamie Hitt. It's Jamie Hitt, and I asked him if this was cool, and he said yeah. So here we go. It's major rant alert here, and none of this is directed toward Canadian Prepper, and I'll just go ahead and ask for everyone's forgiveness in advance. LOL. Thank you. Over the more recent years, there existed all these bags with all these names and all these specific purposes. The bug out bag, Bob. The get out of Dodge bag, Good. The I'm never coming home bag, Inch. The get home bag, the go bag, the EDC bag, and these terms were all too often used interchangeably, either by accident or on purpose as slang. Does anyone even remember the original purpose of the bug out bag? It was to keep you alive for a minimum of 72 hours. Along the way, while you got to your bug out location. The thinking assumed you could be stuck in a less than ideal environment for a time philosophy between points A and B. Your transportation fails, your route is compromised, might have to make it there on foot with injuries, what have you, which is all taken into consideration long before choosing the location of your destination, which may require a great deal of effort or even strategic relocation of your primary residence. Nobody ever claimed that prepping was easy or cheap, for that matter. But it doesn't stop there, now does it? We went as far as to broaden the definition of a bug out location. We all but did away with point B. Somehow point B has become synonymous with whatever was between old points A and B, and that defeats the entire purpose. Why did we do this, or rather let this happen? Was it to be more inclusive of those who had no bug out location, to bring survivalists under the prepping label, or those on a shoestring budget? Good Lord, no wonder all these new preppers are deciding to bug in rather than bug out. Everyone was always going to bug in just as soon as they got to their bug out location. LOL. But you have to bug out first in order to get there. For the love of clean socks, one does not bug out and stay out on purpose. That is called going camping in the middle of shit hits the fan scenario. Most people, worst possible thing a person could ever decide to do. A last-ditch emergency evacuation, heading for the hills with no plans, leaving somewhere instead of going somewhere. The very antithesis of each and every core tenet of prepping. Practically making a list of everything that could kill you, then doing everything in your power to magnify and expedite that process. Especially at 2 a.m. in a blizzard with your family in tow. If that's the best you can do, just surrender and go to the damn FEMA camp. It's over. I like this guy. He can write. I just could read better. Now, if we want to see how a bushcrafter or a wilderness survivalist might make it through a post-collapse SHTF scenario, then sure, no problem. Would definitely make an interesting, educational, and entertaining series, but it would indeed be a very short series. But in all fairness, we do know that anything can happen, and we need to be prepared for that as well, be it for the 72-hour trip to the perfect BOL or the unfortunate turn of events that leaves us with no other choice. The experience of knowing what to expect and how best to deal with it is priceless. Having both the skills and the gear to persevere through that nightmarish bottleneck is mandatory preparation for us all. Just please, please don't ever have this as your plan A for bugging out. The very last place you want to be is slapping the timer in a chess game with Mother Nature. You will never make it above the first level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. A never-ending treadmill of constantly resetting the clocks of the rule of threes. I say this for many reasons, primarily because this is not your average survival scenario. We're talking about a full-blown SHTF post-collapse ordeal here, and apparently your best effort as a prepper have resulted in you being stuck in the woods indefinitely. Not good. We can do much, much better than that, especially given the time we have been given to prepare. I almost stayed on focus the whole time. What he said, seriously, I started a video last weekend, and I was going to do all my chores with the stuff in my inch bag. Okay, I was just going to use the stuff in my inch bag to do what I needed to do. That eliminated the use of a chainsaw. That eliminated the use of trimmers. That eliminated the use of a wheelbarrow. That eliminated the use of a lot of things that I take for granted on a daily basis. I was able to trim the trees with my little folding saw. It took longer than I wanted to. I was able to clear brush with that big axe I made. I like that. I'm keeping it. I'm going to make me another one with the same bevel and grind on it. That thing was like, it was like a machete, only big. It was slicing through them branches like nobody's business. Yeah. But anyway, it looks good. But the whole thing is, it took me all weekend to get a third of what I intended to get done. And when I got hungry, I went to Burger King. I didn't have to build a fire. Granted, I did chop up some wood and put it in the fire, and the eggs that for whatever reason don't sell or whatever, after they get to be so old, we boil them and give them back to the chickens. Or if we find several eggs out in the field, which we've done a lot lately, then we boil them and feed them to the chickens. It's better than them going to the dump ground. Anyway, I did do that, but everything, it just took so much longer. And that's why you have to have a place that you plan on spending this. And hopefully you have the stuff there to make it as easy as you can. Bob is there to get you to point B. The get home bag is to get you from where you got caught back to point A so you can get to point B. And you need a point B, or if point A is going to be your B, make sure that you're set up for a really long, scary time. I've been playing around with this for a long time, the whole survivalist thing, all that stuff. I used to have people drive me out into the canyon and drop me out. Me and a friend of mine, we'd go out there and spend 2, 3, 4 days. And it was fun, but you know, if we hadn't carried food with us, we'd starve to death. Well, we wouldn't have starved to death. It takes longer than 3 days to starve to death. There's plenty of water. But it's not that easy to kill something without making some noise. And with, is it 700 billion? Is it, or 7 billion? 700 billion people on the planet? Chances are there's going to be somebody within earshot of you. My closest neighbor's a mile away. When he starts killing beer cans, I know it. Heck, I can almost tell what caliber he's shooting. But the whole thing is, prepping is prepping. I wish I had the money to buy more tactical gear. You know, some of the cooler stuff. Hold on. There. Because, well, it's cooler. But, practically, if it comes to a point where it's stay in my BOL, which happens to be my BIL, and face down 15 or 20 men that are tactically outfitted with ARs and semi-automatic handguns and body armor, or sneak out the back door and let them have my chickens. I'm gonna sneak out the back door. Now, because I'm a jerk, I might drop a bunch of gopher pellets on my way and let them eat some of that chicken. Wouldn't be nothing to come back to but my buckets and a bunch of dead chickens and dead. I'd have the tactical gear then. But you know, that's the thing. You know, unless you have a mag that could be its own militia, then you've got to have a point C. You need then we have a place that's our point C. We don't relish the thought of point C because it'll be out of food in about 30 days. And we'd be down to finding somebody that's got stuff and discussing ownership with them, just like the guys that run me out of my spot or our spot. So you might want a cat. That's about it. It's long enough for a rant, but um, he didn't have a whole lot of videos, but y'all need to check the Jamie dude out. I'll link his channel, and I'll probably put a link to this in my description too. The video, from Canadian. And one thing on this, I don't agree with the buy the best gear you can get, because money doesn't always mean quality. I wish it did, uh, but buy good stuff. But uh, in a stay home this Friday situation, something's better than nothing. I mean, if you're on a commercial aircraft or whatever, and it has trouble and it crash lands in a jungle, and your seat gets ripped out, and one of the little carts from the galley thing or whatever where the stewardesses are comes out, and you both land in the same place, you're okay. You've got that little bit of stuff that was at your seat, and a steak knife, and a bunch of little empty whiskey bottles or whatever. That's a whole lot better than you and the clothes on your back. You got the steak knife. You got something. It may not make the difference, but it could. My little saw that I tried really hard to tear up last weekend was $9.99 or $9.98 or something at the Wally World. It was the Ozark Trail. It worked. Now, this very past weekend, I got the real tools out. We got more done, but I fell back to that axe though, because it did such a good job. Just saying, I like that axe. Anyway, knowing the survival skills, your basic survival skills to keep you alive for 72 hours or 6 days, is important. If you can stay alive for 72 hours, then, or if you've got everything you need to stay alive for 72 hours, then that buys you an additional 72 hours, because you don't start getting in a bind until you run out of what's in your ball. As long as you've got 3 days worth of water and 3 days worth of food, you're good to go. Now it's going to take you 3 days to die of thirst. So you actually bought yourself 6 days by having bought. And if you're lucky, you've got stuff in there where if you luck onto some water or whatever, you can stretch it. But only if you've got the skills to go with it. Having a cigarette lighter and a pile of wood doesn't mean you can make a fire. Having a ferro rod and fat wood doesn't mean you can make a fire. It greatly increases the chance of you being able to make a fire if you have the skills to utilize what's in your ball. Another channel they're doing right now, it's The Revolting Man. They're doing a deal where first they went without their stove, and they cooked everything outside on a fire. And now they're going a week without a refrigerator. Yeah, so they're practicing for this stuff. They're learning how to do what they're afraid is going to happen, and they're going to be forced to do. Makes sense. Just for all you guys wonder how hard it would be to deal with the EMP, tell your wife, that way you don't die. Walk outside, there's a big breaker right at the very top of your box. It says main on it. Flip that. And see if you can make it 24 hours. Or see what it's like to make it 24 hours with no electricity coming in. But do it when everybody's phone's already on the charger. Oh, my phone's going down, I got a charger. And those will go down too. And then you'll really know what's going on. We've had to deal with it. We had the well break down, took a while to get the pump in. We know what it's like not to have water. We've had ice storms where it took them a while to get back here and get the power. I do not like having electric heat. Got 2 wood burning stoves now, and I cut firewood. Yeah. Practice it. It doesn't have to be a big turd that hits the fan to make it worth knowing something. It can be a little one. They smell just as bad, and you still got to clean it up. It just doesn't take you long. Anyway, that's it. Other than all them big words you put in there, that's good stuff. Y'all give the video a check, and go there and check out Jamie's videos. He's a small channel. He's like the rest of us. He's a small channel. So that's it. Y'all have a good day. Having a bag full of stuff does not mean you're prepared. Having a bucket full of food, or 2 or 3 or 4, doesn't mean you're prepared. Or 10 or 20. Learning how to do everything you can for yourself, and knowing how to make do without what you've gotten accustomed to, that's a whole lot more being prepared. That's it. Making friends that know how to do what you don't know how to do, that's just plain smart. You have a good day. Be blessed. Get to know God while you can. Later, it's too late.